Well, good morning. Out here on this beautiful sunny morning, walking the dogs. Just had some thoughts I wanted to get recorded here. You know, I've had some good Christian friends and acquaintances telling me that God or Jesus at one point had replaced the Ten Commandments with a new commandment. Maybe you've heard this before. You know, in the New Testament there is recorded that Jesus was approached by the Pharisees asking him what the greatest commandment was. And of course the Pharisees were trying to get him into a trap and trick him. And Jesus, being the wisest of the wise, he said to them, that you should love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your mind and all your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. And they, of course, the Pharisees just left it at that and walked away and didn't dare ask him any more questions. So some Christians look at that and they say, well, there it is. Jesus replaced the Ten Commandments with these two new commandments. So as New Covenant Christians, that's all we need to worry about. Love the Lord your God, love your neighbor. We don't need to worry about all the other 10 commandments that God had given Moses. Some even claim that, they were done away with and nailed to the cross. Of course, when Jesus said this, he hadn't gone to the cross yet. So that's kind of interesting. But what I think a lot of people don't realize is that Jesus' answer was actually quoting what was told to Moses in the Old Testament. And you can find this in Deuteronomy chapter 5. And in Deuteronomy chapter 5, first thing he does is he reads through all the 10 commandments. And then God says to Moses, you will do these things, and you will love the Lord with God with all your heart and with all your mind and all your soul. And that's what Jesus was quoting. And this is why the Pharisees were so stumped, because they were trying to get Jesus to elevate even just one of God's laws above the others by asking him, which is the greatest? And of course, Jesus saw the trap there. So instead, he answers by saying, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. And then he says, and all the law and the prophets hang on these two things. And so what he was doing was the same thing that God had done in the book of Deuteronomy with Moses, is he was summarizing all those laws under these two headings. And by doing so, he was showing the Pharisees that all the laws were on the same playing field. And this is why the Pharisees got stumped. They wanted Jesus to elevate one of the commandments above the other. And instead, Jesus summarizes them all in these two commands. So that doesn't mean that he replaced those commands with these new ones. All he was doing was giving a summary for all the commands. And so we can see this when we look at the commandments. The first 4 commandments are about how you love the Lord your God. And then the next 6 commandments are how we love our neighbor as ourselves. So it was a summary. It wasn't a replacement at all. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. Deuteronomy chapter 5, the first few verses. And hopefully that clears up some confusion for people. We keep the commandments because we love God. This is what the Bible says. This is what Jesus says. The one who keeps my commandments is the one who loves me. And he wasn't talking about just those two. Those two were a summary of all of God's law. So hope that helps clear some things up, just some thoughts. Have a great day.